Hey everyone, welcome to episode 1. Thank you so much for joining me as I continue my journey here, talking about the first episodes of countless shows across multiple streaming platforms. I'm excited to bring you another episode to share with you my thoughts on a show that you can find on HBO Max. HBO Max is the home of a show called His Dark Materials. That's the show we're going to be talking about today, as I watched the first episode of this show recently. And His Dark Materials really is an interesting show. It's an adventure, fantasy, drama, mystery show is the best way to describe it. Released in 2019. His Dark Materials is actually based on the book series His Dark Materials. It was written by Philip Pullman. The show itself is written by Jack Thorne and stars Dafne Keen, who you might remember from Logan and um, Deadpool versus Wolverine, or Deadpool and Wolverine, whichever it was, the recent Deadpool movie. It also stars Ruth Wilson and James McAvoy. And it's set in a multi-world reality, with the action moving from across different places, from one world to another. There is a parallel universe theme that happens within this show. And again, the series is based on the trilogy of books by Philip Pullman, and it opens in an alternate world where all humans' souls are manifested as animal companions called demons. Demons being spelled Daemons. And so everybody's soul in this particular world is manifested in the form of an animal companion. It's interesting because each person has their soul in the form of an animal companion that is able to fluctuate what type of animal it is up until a certain point where it settles on whatever its final form is going to be. The show follows the life of a young girl named Lyra, who is an orphan living within the walls of a place called Jordan College on the Oxford campus. It's a world governed by the magisterium, a religious and political body that is the ruling group of the world that we're in. In episode 1, as I said, we meet Lyra Belacqua, who is brought to Jordan College by her uncle, Lord Asriel, in the dark of night under some pretty mysterious circumstances. It's the first scene of the show itself, as young Lyra is dropped off as an infant. It flashes forward 12 years, and Lyra is now a ward of the college. Her demon, Pan, accompanies her everywhere, along with her best friend, Roger Parslow, who's also a character in the show. He works, he's a young child. He works in the Jordan College area. And Lyra, of course, is basically being raised and schooled there by the master and some of the other folks in the administration of the school. Lyra, I should say, has a deep admiration for her uncle, Lord Asriel. She doesn't really know that much about him, other than he's a worldly polar explorer in the north, which is a setting that comes up within the first episode. In this first episode, he returns to Jordan College to share with those that are there that he has uncovered the true nature of what is called dust, which is an element that apparently disguises an alternate city or a parallel world within the context of this particular episode. Of course, this is seen as a heretical view by those who are part of the magisterium. And so Lord Asriel is sort of on the outs in terms of this controversial discovery that he's made. And he, is in a situation where he's not very well liked as a result of his thinking and his research. Within the context of this first episode, Lord Asriel is warned by Lyra of a plot to poison him. This happens in the early part of the show. And having secured extra funding after his presentation of this alternate city, alternate world to continue his work and research, Lord Asriel departs almost as soon as he arrived. And in doing so, he leaves Lyra behind. In the second half of the episode, we meet the mysterious Mrs. Coulter, who offers to mentor Lyra and take her in, which allows for those who wish Lyra to leave Jordan College because of the role that she is supposedly going to play in the future. This allows Lyra to be sent on her way and away from Jordan College. Lyra is given an object by the master called an alethiometer, and she's told that this object, this alethiometer, is going to show her the truth and offer her protection. In a subplot within the episode, there is a group called the Egyptians. They appear to be a sort of a gypsy band of characters. Again, they're referred to as gypsians within the story. Within that village, a boy is kidnapped by a group that is referred to as the Gobblers. And after being told that her best friend Roger can accompany her to London, it turns out he's abducted as well. Coulter promises Lyra that she will get Roger back, and she and Lyra depart to London at the conclusion of the episode. And so we're kind of left with this story of two boys who've been abducted, that are being searched for by their particular communities. And we have Lyra headed to London to start her life anew with Mrs. Coulter. Again, the first episode, as many of these episodes that I watch for this show, really does a lot to sort of set the table, introduce characters, introduce the premise of the show, obviously. And at the conclusion of the first episode, you're kind of left really, really curious about what could happen next. The first episode really introduces some fantastic concepts, and the abduction of such an important character in the form of Roger Parslow is enough to really hook you into wanting to know, okay, well, what happens next? There's, of course, a mystery of who Lyra is and what all of this alternate world stuff is all about. It makes for a really intriguing first episode. There's a movie that came out several years ago called The Golden Compass, which was also based on this same set of books. And the movie, unfortunately, didn't do very well. So the idea for sequels and so forth were shelved. And then eventually the rights to this show became available, and Jack Thorne and those behind the show, the producers, were able to take the story on and make it into a so far through three series or 3 seasons of His Dark Materials have been produced. And so this is going to be a far deeper dive into His Dark Materials novels. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how this show proceeds. I believe the show has reached its conclusion. And so once again, I'm starting this late. Would I continue the series after this episode? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. There's a rich world here to be explored further, and I'm really curious to see where this show goes. You can find it, as I said, on HBO Max, and I got to tell you, I'm really curious to see where this show goes. So it's going to go into my bin of shows that I'm going to continue for sure. Again, it's up to you to check it out and tell me your thoughts. If you have seen His Dark Materials, I welcome you to leave a comment on this video to let me know what you thought of the show. If this recording encourages you to watch the show, then of course let me know that as well. All right, well, there you go. That is my thoughts on episode 1 of His Dark Materials. I appreciate you stopping by to check it out, and I really look forward to continuing more of these episodes for you. Until then, until next time, don't forget you can click that subscribe button and also click on the notification bell so you know when episodes land. Until next time, I say thank you so much, and don't forget, you're awesome, you're amazing, and the world's a better place because you are in it. I'll see you next time on episode 1.